In very little time, we'll be getting the introduction to 10 brand new gods of destruction and then 10 respective attendants to those gods of destruction. And I can't help but drift off on my expectations of these new gods, of their teams, how powerful will their teams be, and I guess just their overall look, because we really don't know. It's all speculation at this point in time. We got a trailer where they basically showed us a bunch of moving stills, like we saw the gods of destruction bowing down to the Grand Priests with their god of creation counterparts, but you can't really take that and run with it. Like, we can't really understand how powerful they are from that, we can't really understand how they look like from that, and we honestly can't expect to really understand how powerful their teams will be from that. And so I had to ask myself, is there any other information we have, period, regarding any of the other gods of destruction or any of these new characters, which will probably be 100 plus introduced in this universe survival arc? Do we know anything about these potential new characters? And I want to hear anybody bring up Gawas, alright? If you're one of those people who thinks, it's gonna be funny to bring up Gawas in the comment section, you're gonna get blocked, alright? You're gonna get blocked, okay? Because Gawas was so disappointing. Like, he made me rant on him in every single Dragon Ball Super episode. He ignored all the signs that his fucking student wanted to do his job for him, and he literally went into another universe and caused the universe to destroy itself in another alternative timeline. Literally, that's what he caused. Because Zeno had to destroy that shit because of him. So, if anybody brings up Gawas, don't do it because you're gonna get blocked. Anyways, I did some research, and literally the only thing that we know of regarding these other gods of destruction and all of these respective last 10 remaining universes, which we have not seen yet, aside from little glimpses of Universe 10, which, please, I'm trying to delete that out of my mind, do not bring that up, guys, is that we said that they are considerably, and he's referring to the gods of destruction here, they are considerably more violent than Beerus and Champa. Now, what the hell does that mean? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Beerus and Champa got a few genocides under their belt. It's not like it's roses and daisies with them. They're not going from planet to planet doing humanitarian work, or should I call it mortalian work or whatever. Anyways, they're assholes, alright? Their job is literally to be an asshole and destroy shit. So that's weird, right? What do you mean more violent than Beerus and Champa? I guess they're maybe talking about, like, the reasons for doing destructive shit. Because one thing about Beerus and Champa is they destroy things because it's their job, right? They hold the title of God of Destruction, but they're really actually laid back, and they don't really destroy things unless they have to, unless they're being annoyed, and like the creatures are extremely simplistic and just garbage, so then they decide to eliminate them, or if they actually cause a lot more problems than not problems, and then they just decide to get rid of them because it's their job to get rid of them, but they don't really do it because, oh man, I really want to destroy shit. Like, Beerus has never displayed that sadistic nature. Neither has Champa. We've seen him destroy things, but they did that as a result of bearing the title of God of Destruction. So when I hear we saying they're considerably more violent than Beerus and Champa when referring to these other gods of destruction, the only thing that could mean, because what does violent mean, right? Like Beerus and Champa, when you destroy anything, it's technically violence, right? The only thing that could mean in the context of comparing the other gods of destruction to Beerus and Champa is the nature of the destruction. They're more violent. Oh, maybe it's actually that they really are like sadistic, evil. They do fucked up shit just because they like doing fucked up shit, not because it's their god of destruction. Again, the god of destruction title does not discriminate based on like how much you want to destroy things. It's just a matter of how powerful you are and can you do the job. It doesn't discriminate on what type of personality you have. You could probably have a very laid back, chill personality like Beerus. Again, unless Beerus is in a terrible mood, he's not going to be destroying things. Like, we oftentimes catch Beerus in a great mood, and sure, he'll crack a few jokes like, Goku, I'll destroy your planet if you don't do this, or Bulma, if you keep annoying me, I'll do this, but does he ever really do it? No. In fact, Whis comes in time and time again to save our Earthlings. So maybe what Whis means in regards to these other gods of destruction is that some of them just like destroying things because they just want to destroy things, because it gets them hard, it turns them on, it makes their dicks rock solid, like, yes, destroy, 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 destroy! And we could indeed get some, like, old geezer god of destruction who's like, Beerus, Champa, you guys are pathetic. You guys don't know how to get the job done. And he's just like about mad destruction. He's like, you guys shouldn't even be gods of destruction. You guys are too laid back. You guys are too chill. What god of destruction acts like that? We could indeed get personalities like that because, again, when Whis refers to some of the other gods of destruction, in fact, most of them as more violent than Beerus and Champa, like, oh gee, what does that mean? Because Beerus and Champa, they've destroyed populations, they've done genocide, their job is to destroy, but what do you mean more violent? It's usually the nature, like the intentions, more violent, oh, maybe the sadistic side, like these other gods of destruction, they're more evil, they're more cruel, they're more sadistic, they're not laid back, they're hella neurotic. And if that is the case, these other gods of destruction are more obsessed with destruction. What does that say about their universes? What does that say about potential teams that we're going to see in this up-and-coming universe survival arc? What does that say about maybe even some of their character designs? Because I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I feel like a lot of this character designs for the God of Destruction is really based off of Egyptian, like ancient Egyptian art. And we know a lot of ancient Egyptian art, like basically portrayed like monsters, like nasty creatures, things of that nature. I think we're going to be seeing some really crazy stuff. Now, we know Zeno appoints the different gods of destruction. He controls the system. So he could get rid of gods of destruction and he can appoint gods of destruction. And he can do this at any time. If a god of destruction isn't doing his job well, he's not performing well, he's sucking major ass, he could delete him. Zeno could just delete the god of destruction and he no longer exists, or he'll just tell him, like, you can no longer bear this title, give it up to someone else. And I guess malice really has no bearing upon one's qualifications for being a god of destruction, which is why some of them have such different personalities. Like, Beerus and Champa are more laid back, and all the other gods of destruction, apparently, they're a lot more violent and cruel and sadistic. Now, what I'm wondering, guys, and let me know in the comment section below, because sometimes y'all be up to this Dragon Ball Super shit more than me, is if you guys think that this malice, that this cruel and sadistic, more violent nature that Whis mentioned regarding the other gods of destruction has a bearing upon the abilities of the people or the characters within their set respective universes. What that means is if Universe 12's God of Destruction is a lot more violent and sadistic in nature, does that mean that the residents or all the characters within Universe 12 are also more violent, sadistic, and maybe more powerful? Because we know some races grow stronger with more violence, with more destruction. Like, for instance, the Saiyans, they grow stronger with rage. It really reminds me of the different worlds in Yu Yu Hakusho, the different realms, and how everything is ordered by hierarchies. But it also got me thinking, like, what if it's an Earth in the real world case, where if we didn't have the sun, like if the sun was replaced with another kind of star, and the Earth wasn't like the perfect distance away from that star, and we didn't have an ozone layer, and we didn't have all these things, like a perfect equation, that we would not exist. What I'm trying to say is if these gods are more malevolent, if they're more destructive, what if they stunted growth? What if they prevented growth? What if they destroyed so much more and something like an Earth was never possible, or something like a planet salad was never possible, and these different races never had time to perform and actually grow because they wouldn't let them. They destroyed them before the potential was reached. And so I'm really stuck between, is Universe 7 a special universe where there's all these different powerful races with all of this different potential, or is Universe 7 not really special, and in fact there's more powerful universes with more powerful characters because those different gods represent more power, strength, and violence? Let's be honest, guys, if your race is too pacifistic, is too benevolent, is too kind, your kindness will be taken as a weakness, you will be taken advantage of, and ultimately in the process you may indeed be destroyed. Guys, again, while you can take my speculation with a grain of salt, you shouldn't completely ignore it, because there's a reason why Whis referred to the other gods of destruction in comparison to Beerus and Champa as much more violent. And that would have an effect on how they govern, and how they govern has an effect on the entire universe. And I'm really curious, like, there might be some major egos involved. I'm not saying the gods of destruction are going to come at like Zeno or the Grand Priest, right, because they were bowing down to him, but what if the gods of destruction start fighting each other? We could see that. Like, again, Beerus and Champa, they're kind of like twins, but they kind of respect each other. They're like younger brother and older brother. That respect might not be shared amongst all of the different gods of destruction. In fact, some of them might have a rivalry with each other. Some of them might just hate each other. Some of them must have like huge egos to where they get easily triggered and they start like going all out in a primitive ass fashion. Because again, malice has no bearing upon this title. It's just about, do you get the job done, and do you have the qualifications to get the job done? And to wrap this one up, a lot of you guys are curious as to how these different gods of destructions are going to look like. Now, we really don't know. We see some that are very big, like there's one that's huge in the back, right? Huge arm, huge body overall in proportion compared to some of the other ones. I don't really know how they're going to look like, but I do believe it's going to follow a certain standard, and that's ancient Egyptian art. If you look at Beerus and Champa, they're kind of a morph between different ancient Egyptian cat creatures, like Sphinx, for instance. We're going to see ram, we're going to see hawk, we're going to see falcon, we're going to see snake, probably. We're going to see different ancient Egyptian creatures that are in ancient Egyptian art, but the one similarity, I promise you, amongst all of them is that they're all going to retain a humanoid body structure. 2 arms, 2 legs, similar body frame, torso, things of that nature. The only difference, the only disparity is going to be the heads. Like in ancient Egyptian art, I believe they're all going to follow that template.